So, we've got new ritual armor dropping in game. We've got Essence of Oversoul drop rates increasing. Legendary shards are going bye-bye come the final shape. And yo, we have got to talk about this absolutely insane weapon crafting glitch that had the game completely broken. So grab yourself some coffee, maybe a few snacks, and let's unpack a bit. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Los Angeles Havoc, aka Laytato. Welcome back to another installment of Laytato Clips, where we've got a little bit of everything. And today, we've got a lot to go over. I will start with the fluff. We got new ritual armor dropping in game. Yes, that's right. Bungie has made good on the promise. This season's armor set that was supposed to be scheduled for Eververse is now dropping live in-game upon completions of ritual activities. That means your strikes, Gambit, Crucible, all have a chance to drop these armor sets, and trust me, you gonna want them. Look at that. Look at that drip. Tell me it's not vicious. So yeah, make sure you jump into the playlist and get that. It's definitely an amazing looking armor set, and I'm going to be grinding it out myself personally. Next, we got to talk about legendary shards, ladies and gentlemen. Legendary shards is a currency that you receive when you dismantle a legendary piece of armor or a legendary weapon. You also get them when you're dismantling exotic armor and weapons, and it is a currency that gets used just like anything else, glimmer, etc. It's typically used for pulling things from collections, grabbing things from the Monument to Lost Lights, armor focusing, weapon focusing, things of that sort. However, next season, they will begin the process of removing legendary shards from the game entirely. What that'll look like in Season 23 is the removal of legendary shard costs from the Monument to Lost Lights. Now, quick sidebar for those of you who are new to the game, the Monument to Lost Lights is a kiosk in the tower where you can go and specifically purchase exotics from past expansions, such as like Forsaken, Shadowkeep, Beyond Light. If you missed out on any of the seasonal ritual weapons, you can get them from the Monument to Lost Lights as well. The most recent TWID update did confirm that the costs for Glimmer, exotic ciphers, and Spoils of Conquest will remain the same when it comes to the Monument to Lost Lights, so they will just be removing the cost of legendary shards for those items. And then come final shape, legendary shards are going to be gone entirely. In a direct quote from the most recent TWID, Bungie states that as much as we know how bad it feels to have currencies that you have amassed over a long period of time wiped away, please know that we don't make the decision to remove them lightly. We truly believe their removal is in the best interest of both the game and the players. And honestly, that is really what it comes down to. We've had nearly 10 years of Destiny, 7 years going on for Destiny 2 specifically, and having played Destiny 2 this entire time, I think it's a good move, and I think they're in a state where they have to do what they can to make things approachable for newer players. You don't want people coming in and just being overwhelmed out the gate with just currency on top of currency on top of currency when you already got quests on top of quests, and it's a lot, and it can be a very jarring experience for someone coming in that may not even have all the time in the world to play. You know, you got some folks that only have a couple of hours a day, a week even, to sit down and unwind a bit on the game. And the last thing anybody wants to do is be stuck in a situation where they can't even do the bare minimum in the game because they have to just grind out currencies just so they can really engage with the content. That's not fun. So I do think that this is a great move overall. However, as with a great many things, I feel that this all comes down to execution. So as long as it's executed properly, then it's going to go over really well with the community, but we'll have to wait and see how it all goes. Now, speaking of super grindy things, got this new exotic quest going on for a raid exotic. For the uninitiated, the exotic auto rifle Necrochasm has made its triumphant return alongside its corresponding raid with the reprisal of Crota's End. Now, this is the first exotic quest we've gotten tied to a raid since Divinity was released alongside Garden of Salvation. There is still an element of RNG to this quest, and that's what we're about to go over today. Basically, for step 3 of the quest, you have to get this material called Essence of Oversoul. Essence of Oversoul is a random drop from encounter completions from Crota's End. I will be making a full, more concise video about Necrochasm as a whole, but we're going to be talking about the Essence of Oversoul because in the most recent TWID, Bungie stated that with the next update that will be releasing on September 19th at Reset, your first full clear of Crota's End each week will now provide 2 guaranteed Essences of Oversoul. One is the weekly guaranteed drop, and the other is an additional guaranteed drop for beating each encounter in order from start to finish. They go on to clarify that after that initial run, every time you do a full clear, you'll still earn that additional guaranteed essence. So now we essentially have a way to farm Essence of Oversoul. They also state that they're going to be increasing the drop rate for repeated clears of encounters so you can earn even more every time you run through it. And lastly, they say, and I quote, "Finally, we are adding a chance to strike it lucky and earn all of the essence necessary to complete both the Necrochasm quest and the exotic catalysts when taking Crota down during a full run. Just like getting the exotic to drop in previous raids, you can now get the whole deal if fortune smiles." So I know what I'm going to be doing at Reset. Now, we don't like talking about nerfs here, you know? It's not that I don't like talking about them. It's just that sometimes they inevitably break my heart. They nerfed my young Ahamkara's spine, y'all. Like, I just want to throw my trip mines in peace, y'all. Why they gotta do this to me? They wasn't hurting nobody, but yeah, we got some nerfs coming. Young Ahamkara's spine, which are exotic hunter gauntlets, will now grant grenade energy on final blows instead of damage. Which, damn. That makes me sad because I really like my trip mine build. But, que sera, right? Titans are getting it too. Antaeus wards, which are exotic Titan leg armor, are now going to require full class ability energy to reflect incoming damage, and reflecting damage will deplete your class ability energy. Bungie says that the goal is to reduce the uptime of this exotic's effect and also make it more difficult to stack it with Juggernaut's shield. So all you Arc Titans out there ain't got that crutch. I see. Now, they do mention some other changes that are going to be coming with Season 23, but of course, as we all know, as we get closer to that season, they'll be doing a more in-depth weapon update, exotic armor update, and so on. So we'll cover that at the time, and I will be linking to this week's TWID in full in the description of this video if you want to actually read everything for yourself. Checkmate will be entering the Crucible Labs playlist starting this week's Reset on Tuesday the 19th. So those of you that are interested in checking out what that feels like, by all means, jump into the Crucible Labs playlist. Checkmate is a modifier described as players having a small bump in health, which adjusts the time to kill, and this is largely to give players a little more time when dueling to make an extra decision or two. And because of this, Checkmate has been tuned for this more strategic gameplay, and wherever necessary, certain weapons have been adjusted to maintain their iconic Destiny 2 action game feel. Ability cooldowns have been reduced by 50%, and super cooldowns have been reduced by 40% with this modifier active. So definitely a more gunplay focused mode, I feel. I know some of you have been waiting for a mode or modifier, something like this, where people can rely on their guns more. So by all means, jump in there, check it out, and leave that feedback, man. I'm sure Bungie appreciates it. Just make sure you're being constructive with your feedback. Again, the full TWID is linked below if you want to read the full blurb they have about Checkmate coming to Crucible Labs. Also, Trials came back this weekend, and now Bungie has added that with every match that you win, you have a high chance to get a drop of one of the weapons that are currently available in the Trials of Osiris loot pool. Now, these are the standard versions of these weapons, but if you get a solid roll, they're still pretty damn good. The potential drops at current are Igneous Hammer, Astral Horizon, Cataphract GL3, the Messenger, Unexpected Resurgence, and the Immortal. So, happy hunting, friends. And that brings me to this final segment, which is just silly. I don't have any other word to describe it. I'm going completely off the cuff. I haven't had a script for this entire video, but this part especially, I can only speak from experience. This weekend, there was an absolutely insane weapon crafting glitch. Now, I don't know who found it. I just know that I started noticing it on my timeline, I want to say Friday or Saturday. Essentially, players figured out a way to craft what Bungie later referred to as illegal weapons. We decided as a community to call them funny weapons. Basically, some of the combinations were creating aggressive frame hand cannons, aggressive frame grenade launchers. It was wild. Okay, it was the Wild West in Destiny for a good almost 72 hours, and it was great. I had a blast. I made an entire loadout kit of them. I had a Austringer, Come to Pass, and Tarnation, and I had a ball. Laughing and just destroying shit with my friends. And sometimes when these things happen, you just gotta embrace the chaos or avoid it. I think the only section of the community that really had a viable issue with this was those who were hunting for Igneous Hammer, the Adept version, in Trials, because people definitely took these weapons in the Trials, and it was a time, because I did too. And I actually have friends that were very frustrated because they had actually planned to run Trials this weekend. So I understand that portion of the community. The only thing I can say is, as I said before, either embrace the chaos or avoid it entirely. I've had footage of these funny weapons this entire video, practically just for shits and gigs. I do want to say to those of you in the community that felt like somehow this may take away from the individual triumphs that you have had and worked hard to get, listen. If you solo flawless anything, you've made it to the lighthouse legit in any way, more power to you. And I'll be the first to say, just because other people get something that you have easier doesn't take away the hard work and effort that you put in to get that title. Okay? It doesn't take away anything from you. It doesn't say anything negative about you as a person. You worked your ass off, and you should be proud of everything that you attained in the game. And don't let what other people attain in the game define what you've attained. There's people that have paid people to earn things in this game for them. So I honestly can't knock anybody that's at least running the content. If anything, you completing it legit just puts you on a whole different bracket of player. So kudos to you. Anyway, as of recording this video, the meme weekend is over. It was a time, the end of an era, but I had a ball, and I'm glad that it was something that I got to engage with and just have fun with my friends while it lasted. It's so rare where these things happen and I'm actually able to be around and jump in. So again, I had a good time. I completely respect that some people didn't. Let's not rip each other to shreds over this. Let's let people have their feelings about it. Just remember, again, for those of you that have achieved things in the game, those achievements are your achievements, and they are 100%, 100,000% valid, and nothing anybody else says or does can take that away from you. But that's going to do it for this weekly roundup video. Slightly different format, but hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I'd like to first and foremost thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. And if you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That's all I'm asking. It's a little bit, but it does go a long way in helping the channel grow. If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're always first to catch the latest video. We will see you next time, friends. Same late time, same late channel.